Okay, Taurus. So there's definitely a lot to talk about here. I'm just going to start at the beginning. Sometimes I'll like jump around, but I think let's go ahead and start with these couple cards here, and then we'll make our way through the spread. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune. Look, the Wheel of Fortune was definitely something that's been earned. You've been working hard. You've paid your dues, right? You've definitely paid your dues. But you're coming to a breaking point, and I'm seeing that with both the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords coming out here. So you're coming to a point like where you just can no longer persist. It's not healthy for you. It's not emotionally or mentally healthy for you. And there has to be some kind of change. I know you want the Ace of Wands, but I also know, like I said in the end of the general, was that it comes at a cost. And I feel like here you are weighing the options of the cost. Is it worth it? Is it worth walking away? First of all, I'm telling you that yes, it is. And when I say walk away, I don't necessarily mean you're like getting a divorce or anything like that. But it's more about forgiveness, and it's more about your emotional attitude towards something or someone. Okay? And some of you may be having to give up on a fight that you've been fighting for a really long time. And that's especially if you're dealing with a child, like let's just put that in there too, a child or a parent or someone that you're related to and someone that you're like really supposed to love, right? And yet here the cards are telling you that it's become too much. It's become oppressive even. And if you ever want this Ace of Wands to come, right, this new love especially, or this new form of love, you have to stop doing it the way you've always been doing it. Now, when I was talking about manifestation, the Eight of Cups is a form of manifestation. You don't have to sit there and do like a candle ceremony or to do like any kind of meditation ceremony for getting this Ace of Wands here. You definitely don't. The Eight of Cups is manifestation by itself. And in fact, I wouldn't focus so much this month on what you want. I would more focus on what you don't want, okay? Because when you start focusing on what you don't want, it makes it more clear about what you need to get rid of. It makes it more clear about what you need to say. I know you want this world to turn over. You want this new chapter, quote unquote, to really begin. You want a kind of a fresh, new, blank slate. But see, the Magician reversed is the story of not manifesting. Right? I mean, you're so good at it anyway, like I was saying before, like you simply just think something and it comes into fruition like real fast. But imagine if you took the time and the energy to, instead of continually acquire things, but to now clear out space. So this is a story of clearing out space only. Okay? The way you draw in new things is by creating a vacuum. But you have to get rid of this stuff first. And you're on your way to the Nine of Cups, right? That's what happens. You go from the Eight of Cups to the Nine of Cups. That's what happens. That's the progression. So absolute fulfillment, absolute joy, and wholeheartedness does not come from the acquisition of anything, but rather from the release of things. Okay? You're simplifying your life in a real big way. And it's like one thing after the next, after the next, after the next. And you choose you. Always. You are always choosing you. There is probably someone, okay, King of Coins reversed, Knight of Swords, who is not super happy that Taurus is leaving them behind. Who is not super happy that Taurus has decided that they are not going to be in their plans, right? The Knight of Swords energy can be really abrasive. Can be angry a lot of times. I'm not saying this is always a bad energy, but for me it operates in the extremes. So when the Knight of Swords comes out in a good way, it's really directed, it's full on, can take on any kind of challenge. And maybe on some level that's actually really kind of the vibe that you take on too, like full on, ready to take on any challenge, set your mind to something and just go for it. But when it comes out with the Magician reverse, it makes me nervous, okay? This I often see as like a more manipulative vibe, even we could say black magic kind of thing, someone who tries to get you to do something, you know? And so when these come out in combo, I'm like, I'm real hesitant. And this could be someone who just is so unhappy that you're blocking them, you're leaving them alone, you've decided that they haven't made the cut in order of like how important they are to you, right? They haven't made the cut, they're not on the list, they're not handling it well, and they could be actually quite angry. But this is actually going to really test your fortitude. How determined are you to make your life the best, most peaceful, most simple, most relaxed life? Okay? Your focus is on the Eight of Cups, but is on the Nine of Cups, but in order to achieve the Nine of Cups, you must do the Eight of Cups thing. You get more with less. Less is the game here. Less is what creates all of the abundance for you. And it will turn over, but the problem with this World card is, like the Wheel of Fortune, is it's not fast. It's slow, actually. So it might not even be this month or next month. It might not be Scorpio season. It might be not until next January when the Pluto-Saturn conjunction actually happens. It might be, next year even. So while it's excellent these are coming out, you have to remember that this is a long game. Okay, this is definitely a long game. And I know these are supposed to be monthly readings, but new cycles are opening and closing all the time. It's the way that life breathes. It breathes in and it breathes out. And it's time for you to breathe out and experience a flow of life. Okay, but you have to exhale slowly. Nine of Cups, 10 of Coins, on your way to the best of the best. You are, financially, emotionally, mentally, everything. On your way to the best of the best. I see these as being both aspects of you. Here is mirroring the Eight of Coins energy, which we pulled out over here. She has her eye in the game all the time. I was watching one of my when I was really, really young, one of my girlfriends, she has an Instagram account, and she just moved into this like old home kind of in the mountain area in Utah. And I've been watching her plant her garden. So her whole Instagram is like her house and cooking and gardening and all of that. And I was watching her today, and I thought of Taurus actually, because she's like, she said, people always ask me how I get my garden to grow so abundantly. Like, how do I get my plants so big? And she was like, just water. And she was like laughing because everyone thinks she has all these secrets, but she's like, no, I just water them. They just do it on their own. Like, I put them in the boxes, I plant the seeds, and then I just water them every day, and that's it. And I felt like, oh my God, that's such a Taurus thing. It's like, just water, like you don't even really have to worry about anything else. It's just, you just give a little bit of the nutrient that it needs, which for you, it's just love and trusting oneself and having faith in the whole process. And all these things that you've been planting, they'll grow. And it's not even they'll just grow just a little bit. It's that they're going to grow so big. Like my girlfriend's, her squash plant was like so gigantic that it went from one box into the other. She was like, I have like 50 squash growing right now and I have no idea what to do with them. And that's the quality of the Queen of Coins. Like so many squash. She doesn't know what to do with them. So much money, so much love, so much passion, so much drive. She doesn't even know what to do with it. But all you have to do is just simply water it. Okay? It's just more about creating the proper environment. That's it. That's where the focus is. I see you very driven. I really do. And that's obviously what needs to be. But again, that secretive nature of the King of Cups is kind of coming online for me. It's very separate, right? What the head and the heart is doing. Like, you're going to present yourself one way to the public, to people that you're dealing with. But on the inside, you may feel like, let me actually say something. This is kind of contradictory, and I acknowledge that. You may feel, so here you are, 8 of Cups, right, doing your movement thing. This is kind of opposite, actually, now that I'm really looking at it. It's quite opposite. This is movement, this is standing still. So in acknowledgement of the Cancer season and the 4th house activity that's currently going on for you, just acknowledge that you may feel a little bit stuck, okay? Because I know how you're like analyzing everything that's kind of coming your way and like, is it good enough? Is it going to work? Is it worth my time? And you might be saying no to a lot of things. And you're like, well, when is there going to be a yes? When is something going to be worth my time? When is someone going to capture my interest? You don't need to worry about that. Have faith that it's coming, because it is. But this might be something that you kind of internalize, and something that's kind of what you're dealing with on your own, is that like, okay, well, I know what I don't want, but I'm still not really quite grasping the thing that I do want, or it's still quite not here. You don't need to be tortured by that, okay? There's no point. It's not something to be all like traumatized about. It's just something you just acknowledge that you really are waiting for the right thing, okay? So then here we have the same King of Cups coming through. Again, another energy of cleaning house, 7 of coins. I often see this as being a period of somewhat dissatisfaction, and usually this is what kind of pushes us over the edge. Because we find ourselves somewhat dissatisfied with something, we then kind of go to work to create the thing so that we can be then satisfied. So wherever there was a feeling of like, it's just not enough, it's not good enough, I need more in my life, here you are very much turning around and going to work to make it happen. This is why I love that you're really only counting on yourself, because then it's more in your control. You don't have to worry about anyone else's free will kind of getting in your way. Because I think that there's been a story like that, right? King of Coins reversed. There's a story of a roadblock, right? And in the past, probably you incorporated someone else's needs into your decisions a little bit too much, or maybe that's just what was needed at the time. But now it's all falling back on you. Everything, it's all falling back on you. So you get to make things happen, and it doesn't matter what anyone else says or what anyone else does, because that's just simply on them. So here you have a 3 of coins, which is productive, it's collaborative, you're working with people, you're brainstorming. A lot of brainstorming for you this month, probably. I don't necessarily see you sinking your teeth into like a gigantic new thing, but you may be sinking your teeth into little things that are going to be stepping stones into the bigger thing. And it's because of the ideas and your research and just kind of open communication with certain people, especially in the business or financial realm. Because of those conversations, you will get triggered with new ideas, and that's going to propel you forward more and more and more. And the more forward you go, right, with the 8 of Cups, the more forward you go, the further back the 8 of Cups feels. So you're going to feel like you're actually really leaving the past in the past. Because what's dead is dead. And I think you're reaching that point of like, okay, any more of this and I'm just a martyr, and I'm not okay with that. I don't think Taurus is okay with being the martyr or the victim in their life. They've reached that point where enough is enough and they're holding themselves accountable to make the changes. So this is a story of someone really standing up and saying, I'm not going to let this be my problem anymore. I refuse. This is definitely a breakthrough moment, and it's when real change, it's just kind of like the snowball just beginning at the top of the mountain before it begins to really snowball. Okay? Now, the Fool energy concerns me a little bit. It does. You need to tap into this Four of Cups. Okay? You need to be cautious. The Taurus people that get caught up in the excitement of the newness, they're going to find themselves in just even more confusion. Everything about this story is slow and methodical, and it's not about the new stuff. The new stuff will come, right? With the 8 of Coins and 3 of Coins. Like, new stuff will come automatically. It's about cleaning it out. So here we have someone who's going to likely, somewhat naively, jump into something without the proper mindset or the proper information. Okay, it could be based on someone's lies, especially if there's someone here who's like, Taurus, I can't let you go. I love you. I want to marry you. I want to be up. But like, look, I wouldn't trust this Knight of Swords. I really, really wouldn't. Judgment reversed, Ace of Swords reversed. There's something really untrustworthy about either one or two people in your life right now. And they may be trying to get you back into their world because of their problems. And I don't want to see Taurus just being the Band-Aid for someone else's problems, because there's so much potential with what you have going on right now. There's so much potential for you to like have that 10 of Coins, right? To have everything you ever wanted. But some people are going to get caught up in other people's like promises and other people's fantasies and other people's ideas of their life. So Taurus, you're actually in a very delicate situation, if I'm being honest with you, right? You're in a very delicate situation because, let's be honest, this 10 of Wands and this 10 of Swords, not just for you guys, but for anybody, like this can become a really comfortable energy. We can become comfortable in certain amounts of pain and certain amounts of like sadness, and you know, we can become so accustomed to being the one doing all the work or being the only one investing in something. You can become so ingrained in that modality that it just kind of like feels right to just sort of reset and revert back into it. So you're at a breaking point, but it's only going to break if you push it over the edge. If you actually make those steps into the darkness there, then yeah, it will break and you will open amazing things up for yourself. But there's a tendency for some people to get caught back in that cycle right now. And that's kind of scary because you're just going to have to go through everything all over again. So that's why, to be really choosy. This is one of my favorite quotes that I saw on some stupid Instagram meme was, read everything, believe nothing, and make your own connections. And this is like, believe nothing, okay? I'm not saying to be so completely cut off that you won't listen to anybody, but at the end of the day, this is about following your gut, right? Remember this card, the deep knowing. That's the only thing you need right now. You don't need anyone else telling you anything, especially if you might be like prone to just keep going back because of someone's promises or because of what someone says. This is an opportunity for you to, like I say, jump over the hurdle of this king. I think this is someone else. I really do. It could be the same energy as the Knight of Swords. They, like when we say Taurus is stuck, like I don't know. Like Taurus can be stuck if they choose, but this is someone who has an energy of like really, like they've been like this for many lifetimes. Here you are. I think this is you jumping over the hurdle, because I know how badly you want the Ace of Cups. I know how badly you want the peace in your life, and I think you would take peace and love and joy over money, and maybe that's a part of the decision too. Okay? Take the peace. Take the Ace of Cups over the Ace of Coins, because the environment that is associated with this Ace of Coins is not worth it. The Ace of Wands is yours anyway. Okay? The Ace of Wands is yours. It's going to happen. But if you chase the Ace of Coins that comes alongside the King of Coins, you're going to find yourself back here. There's a connection with the darkness. And the problem is that this is also shiny and so sparkly. So there could be a quality of temptation. Okay? The devil. There's a quality of temptation that comes through. And how committed are you to joy? How committed are you to happiness? That's what it's going to come down to. There are going to be so many naysayers in your life. Taurus, that's a bad career decision. You shouldn't quit your job. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't start your business. You shouldn't date that person. You shouldn't be single. Like, you need to go out and date and get married. There's going to be all these opinions and all these people that are going to want to stir your pot. But you cannot allow that. You simply cannot, which is why the Four of Cups came out twice. Because when the right thing shows up, you're going to know. In your gut, you are going to know. And when we have the Ace, which is kind of buried under some kind of tough energies, which tells me that it's even more prolonged. Like I was saying, it's probably going to be more in like Scorpio season, maybe even Sagittarius season for you guys, when that Ace sort of starts to show up in your life. And you may go through a period of like, okay, you give up on the Ace of Coins because here's a feeling in my gut that something better is coming around, but then you're like, but then it's not coming, and it's not coming, and it's not coming, and you're going to start second guessing yourself. You're going to start feeling like, oh my God, I made the wrong decision. This is absolutely wrong. I should have taken that Ace of Coins. I should have listened to what everyone was saying. I promise you, you did not make the wrong decision, okay? And you may feel like really confused about things of like, oh my God, now I have to start all over. I have to start from scratch. I had a feeling things were turning over, but now it's like, oh my God, I don't know. Look, that devil on your shoulder has a lot to do with your kind of need for security, right, Taurus? Need for security. But the freedom that you're sort of, like I said, you're sort of setting yourself free here. This is actually where the joy really is. And that's why there's that tendency for some people to get kind of caught back in to a repeated cycle because it makes them feel secure. So this is just the story of someone getting uncomfortable. But we all know there's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable, that there's a lot of blessings that come from discomfort. And there will be blessings that come from that discomfort, okay? The Hierophant, like I said, like, you're not going about this the normal way. And everyone is going to be like thinking that you're a little crazy, or they're not going to get it. They're not going to follow you. They're not going to agree. And you are going to have to be able to stand your ground, okay? And it might be really hard, but I know you can do it, and you know you can do it too, okay? There's some shiftiness. There's a lot of shadiness, and I really, really don't like that Knight of Swords. I really don't. You're going to know who it is, I'm sure. If you don't have a Knight of Swords, good. Count yourself lucky. If you don't have one, then this is simply your determined energy. But there may be people that really disappoint you. People that you thought would support you that don't support you. People you thought would have your back, they don't. And this actually is going to be a beneficial filtration process where you have an opportunity to really filter like who's good to have in your life and who's not good to have in your life. And as you come into higher levels of awareness, right, when we talked about all the ninth house activity, your circle is going to adjust because you're going to need people who are on that same level of awareness too. So your friends are going to change, the things that you consume, right, in terms of books and TV and, you know, these kinds of things are going to change, and they're going to be more challenging concepts, more educational, more learning. And the more of that you have, the more you radiate certain things, and you may find yourself like in circles that you never thought you were going to be in. Okay? This is a long game. Did I say that already? Probably 25 times already, probably. This is a long game. This seems to be the beginning of pretty massive shifts. Give yourself like 6 months for a lot of this stuff to really kind of come out and to come into fruition. But I think you've really set something powerful in motion here. And so there are going to be some disappointments on the way, but those ships are coming. It's so critical for you to have faith because there's a lot of reason for you to lose faith, right? Or you're going to perceive that there is a lot of reason to lose faith. But I think this is someone great here. This is someone really, really great. Okay? The King of Wands with the King of Swords. This is someone else. This could be a significant other, hopefully. Hopefully your significant other isn't this guy, or this King of Coins down here. This could be someone who is a colleague, right? A professional connection that you have. But look, this is going to be someone that actually has really good advice. They also see the big picture. Like they know, I think they've gone through it. Like they know what you're going through because they've gone through it and they've totally been there. The Hanged Man is again another story of delay. So your only job right now is this Eight of Cups. That's the only job that you really need to pay attention to, because it's because of this that everything else becomes possible. And yet still this Hanged Man, I don't know where this is going. I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't see an end. I don't see a finish line. I don't see, you know, all that weird stuff. The sun will break through. And you're going to be so glad that you stuck to your guns. Because look, your higher self is at play, right? This is a card of like your soul taking the reins and saying, Taurus, we need to go this way. And I know it and you know it. That comes from like a force that is so deep within you. Okay, so here's the light. Here's the joy. Here's the happiness. But with this comes anything that you need. It is the money. It is the job. It's all those things you need to survive. Okay? So don't think that this is all just spiritual, because it has a place in the material world too. Okay? So if you're trying to like find a job and you're like, oh my God, I never should have quit that job. I'm running out of money. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you're like caught in this Hanged Man, really confusing stage, the sun comes right after it. Okay? And this is a real supportive person, someone who really understands. So I like this person a lot. I do. I think this is a great individual to have in your life. This is someone that probably is going to be your cheerleader at the end of the day. Like when it really comes down to it, this is your cheerleader. No investment in your life whatsoever, but they're like, you go get it. I know you can. Okay? Now, Eight of Coins, again, the Six of Coins reversed, and then also with the Four of Coins. I see these Six of Coins as being like, it's like you're being real selfish with your time, real greedy with your energy, and again, same thing. Now I'm just repeating myself over and over. I'm not going to spend time on it, but it's what you need to do. You do need to be greedy. And while you let go of the things that don't matter, you fill it up with things that do. Page of Cups, Queen of Cups. Could be two different people here, but it could also be the same. I'm feeling a lot of love coming from this King of Wands, a lot of love coming from this Queen of Cups, okay? This is someone who is not involved in the Seven of Wands stuff, all right? There's, in a way, I feel like this person defends you in a time when you're feeling maybe unsure of everything and unsure of how this alignment is really kind of like really where it's pointing you. It's almost as though your compass is just kind of spinning around and around, and you're not really getting a clear indication of which way is north right now. And yet this person somehow makes you feel secure in the uncertainty, and they seem to be blocking you, like blocking the nonsense from you, because they know that you need to focus, and they know that you need to do this Eight of Coins thing. They know you need to do that, and they, in a way, it's protecting you. I really, really, really like that. And I know I said this could be an apology or something like that, but I think it's a word of support. I do. I think it's very loving, it's very warm, and it's very welcome. And then last but not least, the deep knowing, again, the Eight of Cups with the Five of Cups. This is the cost. Remember how I talked about the cost of the Ace of Wands? Cost is everything you seem to be walking away from, but ultimately you know that that's what it has to be. So it's deeply profound. It is, it's deeply profound. But the blessings you can't even begin to imagine, Taurus. Walk forward with no fear. All right? Big reading for you guys. Thank you guys so much. I wish you nothing but the best. Take care. Have an excellent month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.